Once again, I gotta thank you guys so much for coming through. It is Monday, July 1st. We have officially gotten out of June, but I left y'all last week without a proper roundup. So I've got about a good 4 or 5 stories that we can touch through. Some major news items that we spoke about in the Discord last month. Some things that we didn't broach too much. But some things I think that are very significant with everything going on these days. But before we get started, how are y'all doing, man? What's going on with y'all? Hope everybody is doing well. Officially in here for July, second half of the year. So definitely got to lock in for all that. Let me go ahead and mute this zone. Tell me one good thing that happened to you guys in the month of June before we get started. I'm guessing y'all want me to start. That's how we doing? Okay, I'll start. So, a good thing that happened to me in the month of June was just, being with the family. If you guys have been around, you guys know that I went to a barbecue cook-off with my family. We weren't like participating or anything like that. It just was an opportunity for us to go in the middle of the country, eat some good ass food, be around a bunch of strangers. Honestly, we didn't really know anybody there. We went with some family friends, so that was pretty much all we came with at that time, and had a good damn time. Good damn time. Ate some good food. I brought some oxtail back and made some oxtail pizza. That shit was hitting. My mom got up out of the bed and went out and was social. She was walking around with her walker, right? And hold on, this shit is not working like I needed to. She was walking around with her walker, right? And ever since that weekend, bruh, she has really been walking around the house without her walker, without a cane. She's kind of getting her sea legs underneath her a little bit. And I'm so appreciative of just that one weekend, her getting out of the house and being a little bit stronger. Nah, Dio, I'm far away from the mic. Is it bad? Do I need to get a lot closer for y'all? Because I can't sit up straight. I made a little pallet on the floor where I'm kind of able to still to see. But yeah, I hope this is not super bad for y'all. My apologies. Also, off cam, because y'all can't see me anyway. I figured we would just keep it to the news today. I'm not sure how long we're gonna be able to stream, because right now I feel fine. I did what I needed to do, took precautions that I needed to take. You don't want to show yourself on the floor? No, I don't. Also, I was down and out for the better part of like last week. It wasn't until maybe like Friday, Saturday that I started getting a little bit of relief from just like nerves are different, y'all. Like I don't know, I don't have to explain this to everybody. I feel like people here may have had some experience, but like it's different than catching like a cramp. It's different in the fact that your nerves, you don't really have too many accessible ways to deal with your nerves and the signals that they're firing off. So like Saturday was good because my hip didn't hurt, but it was bad because like the pain was, all right, let's say if everything from my back to my toes hurt on Wednesday, Thursday my back didn't hurt anymore, but that meant that everything from the hips to the toes. All right, Friday my hip didn't hurt anymore, but it was everything from the knee to the toes. By the time we got to like Saturday, it was a new sensation of like, oh, my toes are cold, and they should not be, because it's not cold, and that worried me a lot. So, I'm obviously doing what I need to do for myself, but I've also scheduled like a consult with a chiropractor this week. So maybe not this week as far as getting my back cracked, but I anticipate probably next week going ahead and getting an adjustment to hopefully help ease up some of these symptoms. Because even outside of like the hip issue, I just want my leg to be okay and responsive as it needs to be. I think that we all kind of get that. And it's in times where you're like, oh, I would have never imagined that happening. And that happened. And then, don't Google anything, y'all. Whatever you do, don't Google nothing. Because Google will have you thinking that anything is wrong with your ass. Yeah, it's a different company. So this company here, they actually do like, they actually do x-rays so they know what's going on. And then, it's a retail chiropractor, so I ain't gonna give them too much, credit or anything like that. But it is a situation in which, they seem to be having a little bit more care than maybe companies I've worked with in the past. So, but hope everybody's well. I think I'd ask everybody before we kind of started getting popping tonight, what's one good thing that happened to you guys in June? And for me, it was definitely spending time with my family, my mom being up on her feet and moving around without as much pain as she usually goes through. And that kind of heartens me, because I've been telling her for years, if we just get up out the bed, I ain't gonna say that's gonna be the fix for everything, but it'll help out with a couple different things. And one thing, especially when you have chronic pain and or dealing with chronic illness, I feel like people isolate themselves. So that was a twofer for me. My mom got up, she was able to be social, she had a good time, and she feels more heartened being up on her feet without her walker, without her cane. She's a young sprite thing, you know what I'm saying? So I need her to clock into the fact that she's not old yet. She has a lot of life. She's able to live still. And once we get her legs underneath her, I want her to be like able to move and groove as she wants to. Hell, I want my mama to get a boyfriend, and I ain't never said that in my life. But I just honestly feel like, just having partnership outside of my sister would help her and my sister a lot. The more she moves, the better. Yeah, that's how I feel about it. Yeah. I agree with you about the deterioration, and even me be sounding wild saying I want my mom to have a boyfriend, but like, you gotta understand, when my parents split and my mom first started dating, I was the quintessential teenage son, and it wasn't like I was being territorial as much as it was like, I just don't know you, nigga. Like, my great aunt dated when I was a kid, and her boyfriend was around for some years, and even he wasn't like a good dude overall, you know what I'm saying? So I had my thoughts about like the type of guys who want to be like dating women with kids, and like their intentions. Like, is this something you're really doing? Like, you're really trying to do? It would have been much different if there was somebody who was really trying to give it a gung-ho try and really hanging out with my mom for her time versus like just trying to be physical. So I had my thoughts about it, and ultimately when she decided to not date, I felt bad afterward. I mean, because I left home not too long after, hitting 18. So it's like, I can't tell nobody what to do in their house, but as long as she's safe and comfortable, that's all that mattered. And niggas just didn't pass the sniff test. But at this point in time, my mom's grown, my sister's grown. I don't have to worry about certain things, because that's also the thing. I had a younger sister there, so whatever ill intentions they may have had, I had two people to look out for from 2 hours away, which is difficult. Then I became that guy. No. When I date a woman with kids, number one, I kind of let her figure out what her tempo is going to be when it comes down to being around and moving and grooving with her children. I haven't ever dated a woman who has been like from day one, hey, you want to meet my child? And they shouldn't. They don't know like who I am off the street or who a person is off the street. Like you should take your time with things like that. Outside of that, I'm dating for my own enjoyment and partnership. So there are certain things that I need that, regardless of if you're a parent or not, if you're not equipped with that, there's nothing I can do with you. I mean, that's just me. So I mean, I ain't out here doing nothing super crazy to nobody, but I've seen some shit. I've seen a lot of shit, but either or. So how was your June, Dio? What was your favorite part of June? And I'm sorry we're still on the no of the starting soon screen. I realize that I don't really have a screen for when I'm not on cam, but I'm actively engaging with y'all, so my bad. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go ahead and get off that. So let's go ahead and I'm gonna at least bring up the first story. We're gonna make it hot. Hold on. So, my favorite part of June was enjoying the sun and the park. Well, I hope you enjoyed the sun responsibly, my brother, because as you know, and as maybe my American brethren don't know, Europe is being ravaged by a heat wave. Now, y'all can imagine so because it's hot as fuck here, but our brothers and sisters in Europe are not used to this. So, this headline reads, and I think this was just earlier today, Europe heat wave. Horror weather maps turn dark red as 40 degrees Celsius days to hit holiday hotspots in days. It comes as a massive heat wave sweeps across the continent just as scores of Brits take their annual leave. Well, shout out to y'all for having annual leave because we don't have that here. So that's a good thing, right? New weather maps show major European holiday hotspots are set for scorching 40-degree temperatures as British sun seekers are warned to follow regional guidance. Maps from Wix charts show ominous swaths of red and unfurling across the continent in just days, with Spain possibly seeing the mercury rise to as high as 42 degrees Celsius in several areas on Thursday, with the hottest temperatures in the south. Now, forgive me, cause I ain't did my maths. Looking it up right now, 42 degrees Celsius is 107 degrees Fahrenheit, y'all. For those that don't know. For those that don't know, what's Dial saying? The heat wave only lasts 5 days here, then it's cold as fuck again. I feel like that is the type of shit that gets people's immune systems going, going. Like the swinging back and forth is crazy. Um, it only hit 25 degrees Celsius here, so 80 degrees. But even 80 degrees is more than what y'all used to, though, right? Like 82 is like an outlier. It's not the norm there, even during summer. Oh, okay, okay. Well, 80 is normal for the summer. Okay, well, cool. Cool. But y'all don't have air conditioner, like central air conditioners and shit? I'm sorry, I sound like. Oh, man. I sound like a colonizer. I'm so sorry. But, like, I'm trying to figure out, for real. Y'all get a lot of wind, though? The Gulf Stream? Okay. Okay. Well, either or, as it's getting hot for anybody, whether you're here in the States or overseas in Europe, I just need for my people to be like ready for what may come. So please make sure y'all have water bottles that y'all can take with y'all more often than not. And make sure you're equipped wearing some clothes that are good for the warm weather. Please don't be one of these like um, Gen Zers who are wearing black hoodies, oversized hoodies and jeans throughout the summer because number one, you're funky. Number two, it's too hot for all that shit. Our national grid couldn't handle everyone getting AC here. That's crazy. So niggas mad musty. That's crazy. All right, let's continue. So I think they're talking about Spain still. The area around Seville could be in for 41 degrees Celsius, or about like 105, right? As could an area between the Andalusian cities of Cordoba and Jaén. That's crazy. Meanwhile, in Greece, holidaymakers look to set face scorchers. What? Holidaymakers look to set face scorchers of their own, with temperatures in the area around Larissa possibly jumping to a sweltering 42 degrees Celsius in the next couple of days. So I'm guessing, like, by the water is definitely got to be hotter, right? Right? Possibly? I feel like that's the case here. Whatever it is here, when I talk to my mom back home, it's usually warmer. And I would think that that's not the case because we're landlocked and all this concrete would make it hotter. But maybe the water also does something for that. Cooler by the water? Mmm. 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 Over 60,000 people. They put 60,000 in the number and then say 1,000. That's crazy. People are thought to have died due to Europe's record breaking heat wave last year, and various warnings have been issued to people traveling in the mainland this summer. Various parts of Europe, including Greece, Italy, the Canary Islands, Spain, Turkey, and Cyprus, are contending with unusually hot weather and heat waves with temperatures in excess of 40 degrees. That's insane. In Italy, level 3 heat alerts, the highest level, have been issued for Rome, Perugia, and Palermo, while Greece, another major hotspot for British holidaymakers, has warned residents and tourists to be prepared for extreme weather conditions with record breaking temperatures expected. I don't like the fact that they're only talking about like hot spots like that because let me get out of this mode. This came across my timeline a couple weeks ago. More than 1,300 people have died during the Hajj. Many of them have after walking in the scorching heat. So if you don't know what the Hajj is, y'all, it is like the sacred pilgrimage for Muslims who are able to travel to like very important cities within the faith of Islam. Cyprus is pronounced Cyprus. I thought it was Cyprus because y'all are European, so tried to do the right thing and I did the wrong thing. My bad. Yeah, we are chopping the jungle down here. That don't change the weather. It's gonna make us less able to adjust as things get hotter. But I live on the outskirts of town, so I don't have a lot of those problems. I'll be honest with you. Most times people come to me and are like, "Oh, it's 100 degrees out here," and I'll look at my shit and be like, "Well, it's a couple degrees cooler because I'm further away from the landlocked city." So yeah, let's talk about it. More than 1,300 people died during this year's Hajj pilgrimage in Saudi Arabia. The faithful faced extreme high temperatures at Islamic holy sites in the Desert Kingdom, Saudi authorities announced on Sunday. This was, let's say, about a week ago. Just a little over a week ago. Saudi Health Minister Fahd bin Abdul Rahman Al. Yeah, I'm not going to fuck that up. My apologies, brother. Said that 83% of the 1,301 fatalities were unauthorized pilgrims who walked long distances in soaring temperatures to perform the Hajj rituals in and around the holy city of Mecca. Speaking with a state-owned TV, the minister said 95 pilgrims were being treated in hospitals, some of whom were airlifted for treatment in the capital, Riyadh. He said the identification process was delayed because there were no identification documents with many of the dead pilgrims. He said the dead were buried in Mecca without giving a breakdown. The fatalities included more than 660 Egyptians. All but 31 of them were unauthorized pilgrims, according to two officials in Cairo. Egypt has revoked the licenses of 16 travel agencies that helped unauthorized pilgrims travel to Saudi Arabia, authorities said. What is an unauthorized pilgrim like? Because how do you authorize or not authorize somebody to enact what their faith says they need to enact? That's crazy to me. What up, Tommy? Too much news? Yeah, it be like that sometimes. And then we're kept like I'm I'm not on my conspiracy theory shit. It's so much going on. It really interests me what stories persist and which ones do not. You know, like this is a big story. 1,300 people died doing holy rituals. That should be a huge story around the world. It is not. And I think it has a lot to do with what faith they're observing, where this was, and then we're too busy talking about whether or not Childish Gambino sang a good song at the BET Awards. Guessing they required a visa and their skin color too. Yeah, skin color has a lot to play with playing it. The officials who spoke on condition of anonymity because they were not authorized. Okay. You're not authorized to brief journalists, but you're doing that. But the brothers and sisters who want to go and do the Hajj weren't authorized, and they're the issue. That's crazy. They said most of the dead were reported by the emergency complex in Mecca's Al Musin neighborhood. I'm butchering some of this. My apologies, brothers and sisters. Egypt sent more than 50,000 authorized pilgrims to Saudi Arabia this year. So they're going on to talk about, how some of the unauthorized people were able to get there, managed to reach sites in and around Mecca, some on foot. Unlike authorized pilgrims, they had no hotels to return to escape the scorching heat. So they're unauthorized. That means they cannot do business whatsoever. That's interesting. I mean, obviously, hotels are only able to hold how many people they can hold. So there's the thing. But that's crazy. Yeah, Tommy, that's another question that bears asking because I want to ask how does the authorization process go, and does someone's wealth and or occupation help or hinder them in that situation? Okay, so they may ask, but then that means like people going on this trip during this hot period and don't have any kind of break from the heat at day or night. And I'm not saying they even have like the biggest insulation from the heat indoors at night, but it's got to be better than just being out and about in the streets. Fatalities also included 165 pilgrims from Indonesia, 98 from India, and dozens more from Jordan, Tunisia, Morocco, Algeria, and Malaysia, according to an AP tally. Two U.S. citizens were also reported dead. That's crazy. Rest in peace to everybody out there. The AP could not independently confirm the causes of death, but some countries like Jordan and Tunisia blamed the soaring heat. AP journalists saw pilgrims fainting from the scorching heat, especially in the second and third days of the Hajj. Some vomited and collapsed. Historically, deaths are not uncommon at the Hajj, which is seen at times over 2 million people travel to Saudi Arabia for a 5-day pilgrimage. The pilgrimage's history has also seen deadly stampedes and epidemics. I've seen one year where they had stampedes and like hundreds of people died. That's crazy. But this year's tally was unusually high, suggesting exceptional circumstances. A stampede in 2015 killed over 2,400 pilgrims, the deadliest incident ever to strike the pilgrimage. Um, Saudi Arabia has never acknowledged the full toll of the stampede. A separate crane collapse at Mecca's Grand Mosque earlier the same year killed 111. Damn. The second deadliest incident at the Hajj was a stampede in 1990 that killed 1,400 people. During this year's Hajj period, daily high temperatures ranged from between 46 degrees Celsius, which is 117, and 49, which is 120, in Mecca and sacred sites in and around the holy city. Some people fainted while trying to perform the symbolic stoning of the devil. The Hajj, and just so you guys know who don't know, the Hajj is one of the five pillars of Islam, is one of the world's largest religious gatherings. More than 1.83 million Muslims performed the Hajj in 2024, including more than 1.6 million from 22 countries and around 222,000 Saudi citizens and residents, according to the Hajj authorities. They spent billions of dollars on crowd control and safety measures for those attending the annual 5-day pilgrimage, but the sheer number of participants makes it difficult to ensure their safety. Climate change could make the risk even greater. A 2019 study by experts at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, shout out to MIT, found that if the world succeeds in mitigating the worst effects of climate change, the Hajj would be held in temperatures exceeding an extreme danger threshold from 2047 to 2052 and from 2079 to 2086. So they can track that far off. That's crazy. Islam follows a lunar calendar, so the Hajj comes around 11 days earlier each year. By 2029, the Hajj will occur in April, and for several years after that, it will fall in the winter when temperatures are milder. Yeah, man, climate change is some shit, dog. It's some shit. Let me read up in chat. Let me make sure I ain't missing nothing with y'all going on. I did see an explanation that since it runs on the lunar calendar, that it's a matter of circumstances. So temperatures will be cooler in future. Yeah, yep. It being in April is just interesting to me, but I don't think that I've kept track throughout my life about when the Hajj was. So it obviously has moved. Climate change literally will and has changed everything about how we live in. And man, there's so many people who are not ready for any conversations around that. And it's such an interesting concept to me because just because you're afraid to talk about it doesn't mean things aren't gonna happen. And it's like we're gonna get into the political talk a little bit later, man. But it's literally, I can't even say it's just one party, but a little more than half of politicians are literally making money off of people being ignorant. And the people that are being ignorant are being basically farmed for their outrage, for their oppression, for their networks to further outrage other people. And then get people to vote against their self interest. And it's like, bro, whether you think climate change is an issue or not, you gotta be suffering some of the effects of it. And you can't like really sit here and say that this is not an issue. I was reading on Twitter earlier last week, maybe, about a high school football coach who was basically telling parents that he didn't care how hot it was. Their kid is going to be outdoors practicing football, which, get it, football season comes, you need to go ahead and practice, yada yada yada. But like in my adult life, there's been a handful of people that I know of, at least not know personally but know of, that have died from heat related illnesses due to coaches not taking precautions. In the state of Texas, there's been several teenagers, perfectly healthy teenagers, that have died due to heat related illnesses during football practices. And so like it upsets me and my homies, home girls and home boys and home theys, that a nigga can sit here and be like, get that woke shit out of here. Nigga, it's not woke, but if my kid gets sick, even just get sick at your practice, I'm whooping your ass. If a kid I know gets sick at a practice that you're running, I'm whooping your ass. Because I done seen all these kids come up together. Because if your kid plays high school football, he probably played middle school football, probably some kind of little league football. So you know some of the other kids. So you should be a team dad or a team mom with that type mentality that you're not gonna let little Joko get out there and run these routes and then throw up and then y'all be like, okay, good job, keep going. No, get Joko out of the fucking heat with your son. Get them kids out of the heat. And I just feel like if you're doing shit like that, you should be opening yourself and that school up to litigation. But the way shit is set up these days, it's hard to sue because you already gave some kind of permission that your kid can play football. And so a lot of that shit goes under what the coach is willing and willing not to do. And I'm going to just tell y'all this. Varsity Blues and fucking Friday Night Lights were movies, right? But they're based on some real live shit that happened. And some of these coaches and the power that they given by school systems and winning or getting close to championships makes them gods in their town. And I'll be goddamned if a child I know gets harmed because somebody got an ego boost off of making some kids run fucking suicides in 120-degree weather. Texas is literally the hottest state out there. Like, I'm already planning at the end of this month to go out there, and like what I'm gonna wear is based on the fact that it's Texas. It's windy, yeah, but it's hot and windy. It ain't as humid as it is here. It's a dry heat. So it's an adjustment for me, and I'm used to, like Dia was talking about earlier, I'm in a subtropical climate. That's just heat, dog. Dry heat. I would whoop that coach ass myself if I could. And it's wild how folks don't even think about it as often as we should. No liability clauses, my ass. That shit is paper. If something happened to my kid on your watch, I'ma do you dirty. Me personally. Ain't no statement I made about that. I said I wouldn't sue you. I ain't say I wouldn't fucking run you over in a truck. Okay, now I gotta go text somebody because they said I kill people too much. So I didn't let them know this. I got my first body of the day. I don't know I be doing it. I don't know I be doing it, but like I threaten death a little often, dog. But I would go up for the people I love. Let me just say that. And kids don't have a good enough sense of discernment to they themselves be like, oh, I'm not listening to coach because that doesn't make any sense. If you, I don't know, put up a person as a moral standard, like the name coach, it has gravitas to it. Oh, Tommy, that's my shit. Don't even, don't even, don't even get me started. That verse specifically, that's my shit. That's my shit. But I truly feel that way. Like, teachers mean a lot to kids because they and teachers care all day. Principals mean a lot to kids because the principal is the ultimate authority figure. A coach in the South, the way it goes is God first, parents, and then a coach of some sort. So the coach is the most trusted person outside of your household in a lot of situations. And if you're not taking care of the kids, dog, then what are you even doing? It can't just be about winning games. It gotta be about enriching these kids and getting them ready to be adults out here. Whether they go on to play football or basketball or baseball at the next level or not, you gotta make sure they better people at the end of the day. And if you ain't doing that, you doing it wrong, bro. That's just what it comes down to. And there's gonna be a lot more decisions that we need to make when it comes down to heat and heat related illnesses and deaths because they're coming, dog. They're coming. So yeah, that was first story of the night. How are y'all feeling? Is the heat turned up where y'all are at currently? Because I'll tell you this, I've been in the house for the last week. I have not even stepped out the door because there's been no reason for me to. I've been getting these Uber Eats for the last couple days. And when I open that door to get that Uber Eats, I'm like, how the fuck are y'all driving around right now? Delivering food. I appreciate it because I need the service myself, but god damn. Tommy says he's melting. Yeah, the air conditioner has been helping me a lot. And the thing about it is, it's really interesting for me to be getting up at 10 o'clock in the morning and seeing that it's 80 degrees at 10 o'clock in the morning. If I see it's 80 degrees at 10 o'clock in the morning, what the fuck you mean at 1 o'clock in the morning? Oh, I don't subscribe to Uber Eats, my brother. I'll tell you that. It's bad enough. I try not to give Uber Eats none of my money. Um, it's been so long since I ordered Uber Eats this past time that by the time I opened it the other day and ordered some things, they gave me a whole bunch of shit with no delivery fee. Because they want me to keep coming back to the app. And I'm like, this will work for now, dog. But like, once I'm able to move around again, I'll be ordering Uber Eats a lot less. Because once you subscribe, you gotta use it in order for it to make sense. That's how I see it. But yeah, anyway. Um so we should just go ahead and dig in, huh? So, Dr. Disrespect, former Twitch celeb, streaming top streamer, quote unquote, knowingly sent explicit messages to a minor, former Twitch employee says. Banned from the platform in 2020 over inappropriate text to underage girl, the streamer continues to insist that he did nothing wrong. So shout out to Rod Breslaw. I think I forget Buddy's name that he's known as online. A lot of shit went into this because niggas was on their ass. I'm gonna just say this before we get started. Apparently this type of imagery like speaks to a lot of people, and the type of brashness this person displayed really reminds a lot of people of like how they want to be dealt with themselves, right? And I'll just say there's nothing appealing about this image to me at all. I've never seen a stream, so maybe he games really good, but like this weird ass action star slash past your prime gym teacher look don't do it for me. But for the legions of motherfuckers it does do it for, y'all gotta make up y'all mind, bro. Y'all gotta make up y'all mind. Is it about protecting the kids, or is it about protecting your guy? Because a lot of y'all looking froggy in the fucking light right now, dog. And I'll say this, it shouldn't be little motherfucker sitting here trying to argue or logic twist anything about messaging minors some nasty shit, because that's not what this is. We shouldn't sit here and be talking about banning kids from a gaming platform so y'all don't get confused and send your dick pics to a kid. Stop sending dick pics, first of all. Stop sending unsolicited dick pics to women, period. Right? And maybe do some fucking due diligence before you start trying to fucking fall in love online, you bitch. You bitch. And I'm saying that as a person who used to be a kid on the internet. And I thank God for keeping me safe in some of my dumber years. Kid, the onus ain't on the kid, my nigga. And it never will be. It never will be. If y'all still sitting here trying to bend and flex words We need to look at your whispers and DMs. All of them on every platform, every account, everything. We need to know it. Y'all talking. Let me make sure I get something in the chat. Slasher. Okay, Slasher is what his name is. Shout out to Rod Breslaw slash Slasher. He got a PhD in having a weird case, man. Yeah, he's a decent shooter. Cool, be a decent shooter. That's fine. You being a decent shooter don't excuse you from being a decent person. He's married, like, be for real. You know, my whole thing about it is this. If the wife stayed with him, I don't have nothing to say, because it's not nothing for us to say. If the wife knew about the kid and the transsexual lady and stayed, I ain't got nothing to say, because it's up to them, and it ain't got shit to do with me, what they do in their marriage and their situation. So I ain't got really nothing to say about the cheating shit at all, other than if she ain't mad, cool. I mean, we can try to exert our values onto them, but it really don't matter at the end of the day, right? Can we talk about Twitch being? Yeah, we will. Nemo, please keep that on the docket. We need to bring up Twitch's responsibilities in this shit. I would say he's an above average shooter. Okay, there's that. Let's backdoor that. So for those that don't know, let's start the story. But it started on a random evening where a former Twitch employee did not even address who he was talking about, but we all knew who he was talking about. Dr. Disrespect got banned off of Twitch in 2020, and since then, niggas been like, well, we need to know why, it's important for us to know why, yada yada yada, we gotta know why, blah 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 blah. And so this dude just tweets out of nowhere, we caught bro talking to an underage girl. It was not hidden in any kind of way, it was in plain text, and was trying to meet up with the girl at TwitchCon. That's fucked. The whole world, we felt like we was about to die, dog. Niggas didn't know if they was gonna live or die. He trying to get some underage girl to meet him up with at TwitchCon. You know? And to his defense, first thing he says is, nothing illegal happened. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all. As a former kid who may not have been good all the time, let me introduce you to something called the technicality, right? If my mama says, hey, I know you didn't take out this meat like I told you to and defrost it, I would say something like, well, I did not take it out in time for you to come home, but I just didn't take it out enough time for it to defrost. But I took it out enough time before you got home, so technically, I didn't do nothing. You told me to take the meat out before you got home. I did that. It just ain't defrosted yet. Am I still getting my ass whooped? Yeah, I am, because the meat is not defrosted and we gotta eat tonight. Is she gonna look at me like, alright, technically you're right, but I'm not teaching you technically, motherfucker. I'm teaching you responsibility. And so when a nigga comes out and says, hey, I did not technically talk to a minor, sext a minor, there's a lot of wiggle room in with that technically that you asking people to be like, oh, okay, well, he didn't technically do that. But what are we doing? Is it about protecting the minors or is it about protecting your boy? I don't know. So let's get into this article. 4 years after gamer, celebrity, and streaming star Dr. Disrespect, 42, was banned from Twitch for undisclosed reasons, reports emerged this week that he had allegedly used the Amazon-owned platform's direct messaging feature to send sexually explicit texts to a minor. Now, the internal response to those alleged conversations, long a subject of rumor and speculation, is finally coming to light. In June 2020, there was a Me Too movement reckoning within the gaming community, with dozens in the industry leveling more than 70 allegations of sexual misconduct. Just 70? I would have thought that number would have been higher, but that's me. Um, Misconduct and assault against high-profile streamers, esports broadcasters, and game developers. Twitch responded to the outcry on June 21, 2020, promising to take strong and immediate action on credible allegations against their creators. We take accusations of sexual harassment and misconduct extremely seriously. The company said in a statement, "We're actively looking into the accounts concerning streamers affiliated with Twitch and will work with law enforcement where applicable." Guy Beam, aka Dr. Disrespect. And a shout out to call him Guy, cause that Dr. Disrespect shit is dead. Guy Beam, a flamboyant game personality and one of the most popular creators on Twitch, with 4 million followers at the time, was permanently banned from the platform 5 days later. Renowned for playing battle royale shoot 'em up games in character as a kind of alpha jock sporting a thick mustache and mullet wig, he had signed a major multi-year deal with the company that March. Commenting on his lifetime suspension, Twitch would only confirm that he had violated community guidelines soon after Discord cut him loose from their partnership program reserved for the most active and popular server communities. Beam went on to sue Twitch over financial losses and reputational damages and settled with the company in 2022. Neither party admitted to any wrongdoing, and the details of this legal agreement remain unclear. Neither party admitted to any wrongdoing, and the details of this legal agreement remained unclear. Meanwhile, the cause for the ban remained a mystery, prompting years of innuendo, conspiracy theories, and questions about why neither Twitch nor gaming journalists have been able to reveal the nature of Beam's violation. Full disclosure, the primary author of this article, Rod Breslau, first learned the reason for Beam's ban from credible sources in June 2020, but chose not to report on it then due to the extreme sensitivity of the subtopic. Let's also talk back about that in a minute. The gossip reached a fever pitch on June 21st. So damn, definitely like 4 years on the dot, huh? That's crazy. From the statement being made until this statement being made, 4 years exactly. Okay, Cody. Cody Connors, without naming Beam, tweeted what many interpreted as an explanation for why he'd been banned. Beam denied any wrongdoing in a tweet the following day. Quote, "I didn't do anything wrong. All this has been probed and settled. Nothing illegal. No wrongdoing was found," he wrote. But after independently reviewing internal Twitch communications and interviewing a source with knowledge of the situation, Rolling Stone has learned that Beam was kicked off the platform in 2020 for allegedly sexting a minor through a messaging feature called Whispers, even after learning she was underage. He also allegedly inquired about her plans to attend TwitchCon, the company's semi-annual gaming convention. So let's start there. Nothing illegal happened, no wrongdoing. Brother, that's because you didn't send a sexually explicit picture and or receive a sexually explicit picture, and your plans to meet up at TwitchCon were ruined by you getting banned from the platform. But enough happened that someone felt that they could go to Twitch with the Whispers in hand, and not only them, but Twitch and other companies was like, nah, can't happen. Not on our watch. Not on our platforms. Because the issue here is you're talking to a child, and you know it's a child, and you still being kinky with a child. And this motherfucker's like, oh, he was giving her dating advice. This nigga was how old? This happened 7 years ago? Is it 7 officially? Motherfucker was my age. Motherfucker, I don't even talk to children, bro. I don't talk to children unless they parents around. I don't want no issues. I don't even like kids. I'm damn sure don't have nothing in common with them to want to have a private message with them. There's no way in any situation, you of your stature, you of your age, you being married, there's no reason you should have had any kind of private one-off conversation with nobody underage. And then after they told you they was underage, you should have got the fuck out the door, dog. I don't have no sympathy for no bitch nigga like that because it's bitch shit. It's bitch shit. I just don't even associate with nobody who's like, yeah, that teenager. Oh my god. Huh? Huh? Man, I'll beat your ass with this lymphatic roller, dog. Get the fuck from around me. What I'm missing in chat. Definitely should have been higher, but I get victims not wanting to deal with backlash without any support. Hiding behind a law behind some slimy lawyers is crazy. Not worth the headache. Companies who only care about profit. Fuck yeah. He was 35 at the time. Alright. Well, 35 is still hella old. It's a couple of y'all that's 35 in here. Don't let me find out. I feel weird talking to 25-year-olds and I'm 32. Tommy, ain't it? I'm like, bro, we don't have nothing in common. It was a nigga. Hold on. As an aside, somebody tweeted last night during the BET Awards. Why are all these actors rapping? And they were talking about Will Smith, dog. They were talking about Will Smith. What the fuck do I gotta say to somebody who not even old enough to know that Will Smith was a rapper first? Huh? Huh? What are we doing? That's a lot of the reasons. A lot of this like shit that people be talking about under gamer culture. Niggas be misogynistic. Niggas be racist and homophobic. And they be like, oh, that's just the way it is in gaming. No, the fuck it's not in my gaming. I game with grown-ass individuals. And let a motherfucker say something misogynistic, he getting checked. Let somebody say something racist, you getting blocked. Let you say something transphobic, I'm the fuck out of there. I'm telling everybody not to fuck with your ass. What are we talking about? I ain't gonna name no names, but I game with somebody quite often who be like, oh, that's just gaming. Nigga, no it's not. No it's not. Cause the intersectionality, hey, your boy be learning some shit. The intersectionality of you being a black femme presenting person in these spaces, they got a lot of Anna for you, dog. And I don't want that for you. Because I feel like it fuck with a nigga head. So where you do think that shit is normal. And it's not. It's not that motherfucker can say all the shit behind anonymity and feel like, oh, just because I'm the quote-unquote majority, I'm the vocal majority, that's the way it's going to be because that's how I want it to be. Nah, turn them lights on. Let me know who you are and what city you from. Because if you say some shit about my gay homies, trans homies, lady homies, people of other color homies, people of other religion homies, I'm going to have issues with you. And I'm going to take it to the square whether you live in Bangkok or Broidenheim. I don't give a fuck. Anyway. On Monday, Beam was fired from Midnight Society, the gaming studio he co-founded, which said it had investigated the allegation against him after learning of it the night of the cryptic tweet. The company did not reply to a request for comment. Motherfucker was charging up the company, talking about, y'all gotta tell us why y'all fired y'all co-owner and co-founder. No, we don't. No, you don't. They don't owe you shit. Let's also talk about that. Gamers are hella, what is the word? I literally have blocked this word from my fucking entitled. Gamers are hella entitled. Oh, I don't like this game. Y'all owe me money back. No, nigga, you just caught a L. Get over it. Oh, this character got too much clothes on. I would like her with less clothes on. Make it happen. No, nigga, you're a pervert. Hey, y'all made a personnel decision over somebody I like. Care to explain why I like them and you don't? No. You care to explain why you liking a pedophile? Certified gamer boy, certified pedophile. Huh? Huh? Apparently the company he co-founded didn't do shit but make a vertical slice and some NFTs. Of course he's a scumbag. And just think about it. The NFT boys said, nah, we don't want nothing to do with you. You made this happen. We don't want nothing to do with you. As soon as they did an internal investigation and said nah, it should have been over and done with. It should have been over and done with. But niggas was charging them up, talking about some shit. Y'all owe us an answer. No, they don't. Then on Tuesday, reporting from The Verge's Ash Paris and Bloomberg's Cecilia D'Anastasio, so I fucked that last name up. Sorry, baby. Matched the details of Beam's case to Connor's account. Hold on. Three sources confirmed to Bloomberg that Beam had been kicked off of the site for sending direct messages to a minor that include sexually graphic details. Two of those sources also confirmed that Beam had asked the girl about her plans for the upcoming TwitchCon. What? Beam, who did not reply to a request for comment on the story, once again took to Twitter to defend himself, this time with a longer statement. So long gone are the days for the tweet longer. Now you just get a longer tweet, right? In which he admitted to having mutual conversations with a minor that sometimes lean too much in the directions of being inappropriate. The tweet's edit history, because shout out to public information, shows that Beam had edited the tweet after posting it to remove the word minor, replacing it with individual, though once readers noticed the change, the word minor reappeared. You bitch ass nigga. Nothing illegal happened, no pictures were shared, no crimes were committed, I never even met the individual. I went through a lengthy arbitration regarding a civil dispute with Twitch, and that case was resolved by a settlement, but trust me when I say this, to all my haters that live and breathe social media with no real life experience, I don't give a fuck about you. They want me to disappear. Yeah, fucking right. So again here, what's noticeably absent from this statement is the words, I did not do that. I did not do that. Those were the words that innocent people would say. Hell, people who are not innocent would say, I did not do that. But he's trying to get by us and his fans off of skirting the true issue. Nothing illegal happened. No pictures were shared. No crimes were committed. I never even met the individual. Yeah, dog, that's because you got banned beforehand. Like, if they would have brought in Chris Hansen, I guarantee you at TwitchCon you would have been on that Summer Jam screen, brother. Not even brother. I don't know who the fuck you are, nigga. If people would have let this continue on, you would have met the individual in person at TwitchCon because that was your plans. Or if the person didn't have any plans on going to TwitchCon, maybe they would have gotten away, safely. But people would need to monitor you at TwitchCon, period. And you're muddying the whole water of this thing to make everything about Twitch and TwitchCon seem creepier than it is. Because it's a bunch of adults having fun and you doing some creepy shit. Fuck out of here. Let's continue on. Crucial elements of Beam's latest defensive tweet were inaccurate. I recall that Dr. Disrespect was made aware by the individual that they were underage during the conversation, after which he indicated that this was no problem and continued on. Bitch boy, what up, Nits? Welcome in, welcome in. We talk about your boy. I know y'all big streamers and shit all be riding together. There was no confusion. Messages sent after this was acknowledged were no less graphic and in a sexually explicit nature than before. And I think more than the categorization of leaning too much in the direction of being inappropriate might indicate. Nah, nigga, you was having sex conversations with a child, dog. Fuck out of here, bitch boy. So A lot of this is just background. Um, the information I find the most interesting is this: a source with knowledge of the matter told Rolling Stone that Dr. Disrespect was reported to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children the day of his ban in compliance with federal law. Nitz, I apologize. Let me never group you in with Dr. Disrespect whatsoever. I apologize. That was a bad joke on my part. The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, bro? Like, huh? That's major. That's major. And it should. If a motherfucker is doing shit like that, he shouldn't be able to stream. Period. Um, a lot of bullshit. Something else I wanted to get into. Following Beam's ban from Twitch and time away from the spotlight, he announced a return to streaming on YouTube in August 2020. So it's like a month, 2 months later. But while he was free to use both that platform and Facebook Gaming, neither offered him an exclusive partnership. His lack of a streaming contract was notable for a celebrity in the industry at a time when streamers like Valkyrie, Ludwig, and Tim the Tatman were signing seven-figure multi-year deals. YouTube's former global head of gaming partnerships at Google, Ryan Wyatt, confirmed to Rolling Stone that Beam was not offered a contract due to chatter about the circumstances of his Twitch ban. He says that a Twitch employee and journalist investigating the incident told YouTube employees that it involved inappropriate messages to a minor. The unfortunate part of it all was that there were so many rumors circulating in the industry, one that a minor was involved, but no one produced firsthand knowledge or evidence, and because of those rumors, there was no reason to entertain doing any deal with Beam, and no evidence produced means you can't act on a terms of service violation. The whole situation got even more confusing when Twitch settled and effectively said no wrongdoing, which made everyone in the industry dismiss the rumors, but even still, there was never a reason to do a deal with him after that. So let's talk about Twitch's involvement in this shit. Twitch pretty much tried to settle this as quietly as possible, based off of the fact that they basically they fostered an environment in which this man could send inappropriate messages to a minor, and this was done so through a private message uh, apparatus that has no checks and balances. Like, if you create an account and you're a minor, you really shouldn't have messages available to you at all. It shouldn't be no kind of whispers going on for an account for a minor. I don't care what that fucks up, but that's just kind of how I feel about it. And yeah, that may sour their experience on Twitch, but baby, we got to keep y'all safe. Yeah, I'm sure that it benefited both parties to get the no wrongdoing involved, because Twitch would also have to eat the fact that they literally lionize this man, and this man uses platform to become who he is, and he could have been doing this for a long ass time. Who knows? Who knows? They're at fault, but did not want the heat of being at fault. You know? And it's just crazy. Like, motherfuckers will smile in your face and smile, oh, you and another streamer can stream together using co-star, guest star, whatever the fuck that shit is. And bro, I'm like, nah. Let's talk about this real shit. Yeah, YouTube streaming was taking off. Facebook gaming was a thing, more of a thing at that point in time. So it was like the market was changing for them, and they had more competition, and they didn't want to then have to deal with, oh, okay, and then Dr. Disrespect out here hollering at kids on Twitch platform. That's fucked, man. And their modus operandi is still, they're not talking about it. We've been about it. We've been talking about it for like the past 2 weeks now. We've like more developments have come out. He apparently is a serial cheater. He cheated with a trans lady and then blocked her after he got what he wanted or whatever. And it's like, not addressing it is probably the worst thing Twitch could do. And they're doing it. Twitch is doing it and Amazon is doing it. Because you definitely don't want to fuck up Jeff Bezos' bag, or he'll just cut off Twitch. Twitch ain't even that important to Jeff Bezos. It's weird, man. It's weird. A spokesperson for CAA, Beam's talent agency since signing in 2019, tells Rolling Stone that he's no longer a client and hasn't been for some time. Several high-profile streamers, including Kai Cenat, Code Miko, and Valkyrie, have condemned Beam in recent days. The San Francisco 49ers, for whom he has sometimes played a promotional role, announced they were cutting ties with him, while the video game franchise NBA 2K said it would remove his character from the series. Even today, I'm humbled by that experience. The bravery of the victims speaking out, and the commitment by my colleagues to do right by them. I hope that we're all on a better path now for it. But overall, Twitch is worse off for that. Like, it was sobering to see some of the things that happened last week, just based off of like what was going on. Did y'all see the video of Kai unfollowing him on stream? Now, I'm not a person who like jumps on everything that Kai does. I think Kai, I'm liking him more and more now because I think we've given him the opportunity to do dumb shit and grow up from it on stream in front of us. Now, does that exclude the shit that Kai be doing that be fucky? No. Kai be doing some fucky shit, and the niggas around him be doing some fucky shit that we need to have checks and balances for. But overall, I'll say nowadays, hopefully he's learning his lesson from things that he's done in the past. And it was just like that. Bruh said, hey, I gotta unfollow him. It just is what it is. Like, I don't want to be associated. Don't want to have none of that shit going on. Man, thank goodness for my likes being private now. Because, boy. God damn. Sorry, I'm just trying to go back and find something. All right, here's that. Oh, fuck! Fuck! Now it's too high for me to do anything about it. No! Dog, please no. Wow. Wow. That's ass. Oh my god, bro. Hold on.
Hey, look though. Hey, look. Oh my God, my boy. Go take that break, bro. Hey, look though. Look.
And this is during the middle of his Elden Ring marathon, which is probably one of the most
Take
watched
that
things
break,
on
bro.
Twitch right now.
Hey, look though. Look. Hey, look, bro. Just go take that break, bro. Like, just like, you know, go reevaluate your whole life and shit. You know. Damn. Why you unfollowed him? I like, I don't know, chat. I gotta unfollow a lot of niggas.
Missed opportunity.
It's just a, bro. Oh my God.
Missed opportunity to have a deeper conversation about don't fucking talk to
Hey, look,
minors,
though.
nigga.
Look. Hey, look, bro. Just go take that break, bro. Like, just like, you know, go reevaluate your whole life and shit. You know. Damn.
And I'm trying to find the video of motherfucker was in the middle of stream. He was in the middle of stream when he got the news about being dropped by his own company, and you could see his face completely change up from that point. Can't find that one, but this will have to do.
Happens over the weekend, and it just kind of, it's like how many times can I
Yes, that is that same dude.
just I don't like I'm actually tired of being on social media, and I've expressed that.
Now you actually
years,
just was
I
saying
you
that
know,
you weren't gonna run. You weren't going
I've
anywhere.
always
Is what you
kind of
said.
hinted like it'd be nice to get off and just completely separate, right? Go live in Costa Rica or something. I don't know. But I'm just feeling burnt out, I think. You know? I came into this
Yeah, like
with
minutes before he had gotten the news of him getting fired from the company.
2015, 16. Been doing this since 2009. You know? Different scene back then. Having a good time. Playing the games that were fun to interact with and create content with. And over the years, it's just gotten, I don't know, like it's been drained out of me. It's being drained out of me. It's being drained out of my family and I. And I just feel like, you know, I had the mindset of let's just see what happens today. How are we feeling? And I'll
You
tell
ain't
you,
sounding so confident right now.
I don't know. I'm just feeling burnt out. You know.
And
Maybe it's
didn't know
time to
better.
start
You're right
something
about that.
new. Something different.
Hopefully something
You know,
legal.
challenge those creative senses.
You see how he's trying to make it this
Explore
thing.
different realms, if you will.
Oh, I'm gonna go do all this awesome shit. No, you're gonna go hide. You're
But I
gonna
think
go
first
hide.
and foremost,
you
though,
bitch.
is you know, I did have a sort of a planned vacation coming up, and I think I might just extend that starting today, starting now.
Yeah, because you're doing us all favors, right? Fuck out of here, man. Anyway, that's Dr. Disrespect, bro. Yeah, this was the announcement It came on the 24th in the afternoon. I think this happened shortly after, maybe like some communication between them in text. But this is the tweet by Midnight Society, the developers or the company that he helped co found and co lead. On Friday evening, we became aware of an allegation against one of our co founders, Guy Beam. We assumed his innocence and began speaking with parties involved. And in order to maintain our principles and standards as a studio and individuals, we needed to act. That alone should have been justification for anything that they did from there. You don't have to explain anything outside of that. For this reason, we're terminating our relationship with Guy Beam immediately. Hearing that, if you were on the fence, it should have brought you off the fence at that point in time. That's just it. While these facts are difficult to hear and even more difficult to accept, it is our duty to act with dignity on behalf of all individuals involved, especially the 55 developers and families we have employed along with our community of players. The company he founded said, "Hey dog, we can't work with you." What is being said other than that, bro? It shouldn't really be anything else. Had to go. Had to go. Then, you got this dickhead here. Controversial streamer Nick Merckx banned by Twitch after dropping transphobic slur. He was banned for using that word on Twitch, he tweeted on June 28th. Apparently that's a derogatory term, which we all know by now. That's on me. Next time I'll use mental health disorder. So again, even the defiance in what you're saying now, there's no reason for you to be unbanned. This should be a permaban because the ban wasn't enough for you to like get hip, at least for even for your own career and your own like image. Because I think that he makes his pride is based on the image being their guy, right? And when I say their, I mean the intolerant, right? Like they would like that and they would like the defiance. So wherever he's at now, which I think is Kick, I'm not sure, they're gonna go and they're gonna flock to support him, quote unquote. How dare Twitch ban you for saying this word that we use sometimes? It's because it's 2024. Maybe we shouldn't use that word. I don't know. Even for people who are like, okay, that's not my thing. It don't have to be your thing, but you make it your thing when you become so obsessed with it. And the fact is, just last year, your skin got removed out of Call of Duty for the same thing. For the same thing. What are we doing? I'll be honest with you. I couldn't pick most of these motherfuckers out of a lineup because if I want to watch some good Call of Duty plays, I'll watch Kiki play with Homegirl. They be killing it. I'll watch any of the people that I know. I don't have to worry about none of this shit, none of these people being in their chat. I'll watch them. But like, let's not make it a thing where you're gonna sit here and talk about how you've been, I don't know, canceled. During 2023's Pride Month, he's a FaZe Clan member, and they've stuck with him, I guess, criticized transgender rights protesters in Florida, tweeting, "They should just leave little children alone." In a transphobic dog whistles with roots in the state's Don't Say Gay movement. Well, if this is what you're talking about, they should leave little children alone, then for sure, you have gone to beat up Dr. Disrespect, right? You've gone to whoop his ass, right? Had to. Because they should leave little children alone. That's what it's about at the end of the day. While he claimed not to be a bigot in the past, he recently said in one of his Elden Ring streams that there's no such thing as trans people. And a week ago, he attacked Mr. Beast contributor Ava Chris Tyson, who's a trans woman. She quote tweeted a video of him defending Guy Beam. Protect the kids crowd when someone's a loving parent versus when their boy is currently facing SA accusations. She wrote in a now deleted tweet. And she only deleted the tweet probably because she was getting hella heat from all these fucking losers. Yeah, that's bullshit what he said. and she shouldn't have to listen to that from some fucking weirdo. I want to hear what he's saying now that it's been exposed that Dr. Disrespect also had a thing going on with the translator himself. Like, what's. I mean, not that it's his business, but, like, keep all that energy, bro. Keep all that energy and keep it for your boys. Because the call is coming from inside the house, bitch. That's it at the end of the day. What's next? Man, what? We got a minute till we take an ad. But this is the next story we're getting started on, y'all. Oh, they ain't even gonna let me read the story, huh? Man, fuck y'all. Walmart is replacing its price labels with digital screens, but the company swears it won't use it for price surging. It's surge pricing, but I read it backwards. Let me look for another. Who are these sites? Like, what the fuck? All right, we're on an ad break. Yeah, and that's what that means to me, Dio. Especially when a motherfucker makes it their identity. Like, somebody hurt your feelings a little bit earlier, and you don't want to say that. You don't want to talk about that. So, if you go to a store, maybe if you've gone to Walmart before, prices look something like this. Especially on their end caps. This is okay. Big letters let you know. Oh, this is 22.43. It used to be $1.50 more, but now it's 22.43. Okay, cool, good to know. But they're looking to replace maybe not these because again, this has a lot to do with their identity that they've chosen, but maybe the actual prices on the shelves with digital screens. Sticker shock has taken on a whole new meaning at retailers and grocery stores. That's because sticker price tags are going out of style, only to be replaced by digital shelf labels, or DSLs. Merchants have been trying for a while to figure out how to cope with changes in consumer behavior owing to inflation. Some are adding service fees or sneaky price labeling, but others are using DSLs to their advantage. Walmart, the world's largest retailer, announced earlier this month, so June, that it would be doing away with sticker shelf pricing at more than 2,300 stores by 2026, so that's 2 years from now. A change ultimately making us faster and improving the customer experience. To put this in perspective, Walmart stores have more than 120,000 products on shelves, each of which have their own price tag. Employees have to change prices regularly for new items, markdowns, and rollbacks, or Walmart's version of a sale item. This process can be especially time consuming for the company's retail employees. A price change that used to take an associate 2 days to update now only takes minutes with a new DSL system. Daniela Boscan, a food and consumable team lead at Walmart store in Hurst, Texas, wrote in a blog post. This efficiency means that we can spend more time assisting customers and less times on repeated or repetitive tasks. I'll be honest with you. That is clearing the way for them to fire hella associates. Like, it just, they're not gonna retrain these people to be like the associates that help people in the store. They are going to just get rid of them. That's kind of what that means to me. Let's continue on. Walmart swears it's not introducing surge pricing. Y'all remember we heard the same thing from Wendy's a couple months ago, right? We were just talking about this with Wendy's. And now Walmart comes. While this new technology could be beneficial for Walmart workers, the speed and ease of updating prices has raised some eyebrows, considering how the company is also introducing DSLs right as surge pricing has become a popular way to combat inflation. If it's that easy to update a price, then why wouldn't Walmart implement surge pricing into its business model? So I think one of the biggest example someone used of this. So imagine a pretty hot day, right? Kind of like a day like today, where it's 100 degrees somewhere. And Walmart, you went to Walmart for water, and water was about like $1 per case or per gallon. But now that same gallon of water is now worth 158, 199. What up, Mocha? What's going on, twin? How you doing? Yeah, they still won't include the local tax and price. Yeah, they won't. I think that's the thing with retail stores. Period. No store that I've been to has the price plus tax. That tax or whatever fees they're gonna add on to that is gonna hit you at the register more often than not here. Water, ice cream, barbecue stuff. Imagine a 4th of July where the dad has to go get some burgers and buns and shit, and he's gonna get hit with the surge pricing. And has no choice but to do that, because what are you gonna do? Buy your burgers and buns a month in advance? Them buns gonna be fucking stale by then. Retail stores have no excuse with the digital sales tags. I just don't see the need for it because it increases the energy use, which I thought we were all trying to cycle down anyway to save the planet. So what do we need digital store price tags for? Like that's an innovation that does not help much. It has to only help the company, to me. I don't know. $10 for some buns. Man, please. I'll be a bread baking motherfucker if that's what we doing. They aren't needed at all. I don't see a real good use case for it. And then again, like I just said, off top, they're gonna fire them people that go around changing them prices and shit. Like, they're gonna fire most of them and just keep some of them for the restock. It's wild. It's super wild. Walmart insists that the introducing of surge pricing would go against one of the company's pillars, offering an everyday low price. The DSL program is not designed for dynamic pricing. Walmart spokesman Christina Rodriguez told Retail Brew, Walmart adheres to everyday low prices. She doubled down on the statement that DSLs just make it easier for associates to add pricing to new products and update pricing on sale items. The technology also makes it easier to manage rollback products, which are put on temporary sale for weeks or months at a time. Yeah, I hate spokesperson speak, dog. Because everything y'all don't be saying really be what y'all really mean. The ability to change prices at the touch of a few buttons also raises the question of how often the retailer plans to change its prices. It is absolutely not going to be 1 hour is this price and the next hour is not. Greg Cathy, Senior Vice President of Transformation and Innovation at Walmart, told Reuters during the company's annual shareholder meeting in Bentonville, Arkansas last week. And the fact that if it was said during a shareholder meeting, I'm guaranteeing you people are going to get laid off. When they go to introduce this, whether it's in 2 years or not, they're going to have a reduction in workforce. Mark my words. That's just, it's an inevitable. So these easier changes mean they can add taxes in easily. Yeah, they could if they wanted to. Here's another softball story for you before we get into some heavy shit tonight. Defense attorney for rapper Young Thug found in contempt, ordered to spend 10 weekends in jail. Now, I'll tell y'all one thing. I like Young Thug's music, but if that motherfucker was ordering hits on people in the city, he need to be in jail. That's just the thing that's gonna happen. Like, that's the thing that's gotta happen. We can't have people getting people murdered and then bragging about it on record and emboldening other people to do the same. That's just not a thing that should be happening. So for the duration of this entire trial, I've been up on the side of, oh, this motherfucker is going to jail. Because you're not going to sit here and tell the judge that you're not meaning these things that you definitely mean. And anybody listening to this record knows what the fuck you mean. They were doing dumb shit for even criminals to say, oh, that's dumb. Yep, and we're going to get to that right now. For the entire duration, I'm like, this shit is lost for you at this point. So, like, what's the point of even trying? But it turns out that even with a quote-unquote open and shut case, which I think that this was, I don't know if it was RICO worthy. I don't know, but I guess you had to catch him on a technicality. You do dumb shit. A Georgia judge has ordered a lawyer for a rapper Young Thug to spend the next 10 weekends in jail after finding him in contempt. But the in contempt was basically him reacting to some shit. Defense attorney Brian Steele represents the rapper, who's currently on trial in Atlanta on charges including violation of Georgia's anti-racketeering and gang laws. Fulton County Superior Court Chief Judge Ural Glanville on Monday ordered Steele jailed after the lawyer refused to tell him how he found out about a meeting between the judge, prosecutors, and the prosecution's witness. Right? Because I feel like with stuff like that, it needs to be a part of the record or you're keeping it secret. You're keeping it secret. So the judge was having secret meetings with the prosecution and the prosecution's witness. That could lead to them having the witness led in their testimony, saying certain things in order to further cast aspersions on Young Thug and the case of him, and certain things to keep the witness having high believability themselves. The dramatic move is the latest twist in a trial that has dragged out for over a year with no end in sight and has been plagued by problems. Young Thug, a Grammy winner whose given name is Jeffrey Williams, was charged 2 years ago in a sprawling indictment accusing him and more than 24 other people of conspiring to violate Georgia's anti-racketeering law. He's also charged with gang, drug, and gun crimes and is standing trial with 5 of the others indicted with him. Jury selection in the case began in January 23, and it took nearly 10 months. Opening statements were in November, and the prosecution has been presenting the case since then, calling dozens of witnesses. Steele addressed Glanville in open court Monday, saying that he had been informed of a meeting in the judge's chambers that morning and made several claims regarding the sum and substance of the communication that the court found troubling. Glanville wrote an order finding Steele in contempt. So hold on. Only the judge, a court reporter, prosecutors, and an important state witness and that witness's attorney were present for the meeting, and Glanville expressed serious concern with how this information was improperly disclosed to Steele. Glanville told Steele several times that if he didn't reveal how he learned of the meeting and its substance, he would be held in contempt, and Steele repeatedly refused. But again, if you're having a meeting with the judge, a reporter, the prosecutors, and an important state witness, and that witness's attorney, why wouldn't the defense attorney be allowed in there? Why is only one side in on the meeting, and if the defense finds out anything about it, that's an issue? Why is that a thing? Tommy says, I know Thug likely orchestrated harm for some people, but the lack of any effective process for justice makes me feel like this nigga's at least deserve bail, if not time served. And that's what it's ultimately going to come with. Like, there's so much misconduct going on around this because they need a win. The Fulton County Prosecutor's Office needs a win. And we know that other big profile case they have is going to be drug out even longer as hell now because somebody was having sex with somebody. Okay. For what this could have been, it is no longer that because y'all are trying to now, like, y'all are trying to railroad the defendants, it seemed like. Yeah, it's the Trump case. It seemed like y'all trying to railroad it, and rather than being concerned about like what y'all talked about and why y'all didn't invite the defense to it, you like, how did you know? who told you, and you won't give up your source. Now, I don't know if we have a lawyer in the chat or anything like that, but do people often have meetings with just one side of a trial as the trial is active and then talking to a witness? I don't know. I don't know if that happens usually, but I know that the fact that they did that here and then they threw Buddy in court, it seemed kind of personal. Throwing him in jail for 20 days, 10 weekends. Reporting at 7 p.m. on Fridays and being released at 7 p.m. on Sundays. Gonna continue through August 18th. That's crazy. Steele asked Glanville if he could serve his days in the Cobb County Jail, where Young Thug is being held, so he and his client could work on the rapper's defense. And Glanville said he had no problem with that and would talk to the sheriff, news outlets reported. Steele tried to file a notice of appeal on Monday and also asked to file a mission asking Glanville to reconsider and rescind the order of contempt or grant him bond. Steele's motion says that the judge and prosecutors held a meeting with a sworn witness who had been granted immunity and who had been held in contempt after asserting his Fifth Amendment privileges. Steele's motion said that he disclosed in court that he was aware of that meeting and proceeded to move for a mistrial. While the judge says that Steele had information that he shouldn't have had, Steele's motion says that the information was not declared confidential by any court order and that in finding him in contempt, Glanville has imposed an illegal and inherently inconsistent punishment for this criminal contempt. Kenneth Copeland, the witness who took part in the meeting with the judge and prosecutors, had been jailed over the weekend after he refused to testify Friday, even though he had an immunity deal with prosecutors and had agreed to testify. Copeland returned to the stand Monday and was released from custody as long as he agreed to continue testifying Tuesday. Steele told Glanville that he had heard that a prosecutor told Copeland that he could be held in jail until all the cases against all the defendants in the indictment were completed. If that's true, what this is coercion. Coercion, witness intimidation, ex parte communications that we have a constitutional right to be present for. See, I knew I wasn't tripping. I watched enough Law and Order to know that they're supposed to be in there too. The judge doesn't answer these questions. He says, I still want to know, how did you come across this information? Who told you? What I want to know is why I wasn't there, Steele responded. After another defense attorney in the case asked for a transcript of the meeting in the judge's chambers, Glanville said there was nothing improper about the conversation and that he was more concerned about this disclosure. If that's the case, hand over the record. Prosecutors say YSL also stands for Young Slime Life, which they allege is an Atlanta-based violent street gang affiliated with the National Bloods gang and founded by Young Thug and two others in 2012. Prosecutors say that people named in the indictment are responsible for violent crimes, including killings, shootings, and carjackings, to collect money for the gang, burnish its reputation, and expand its power and territory. It's crazy, bro. And again, if these crimes were, if this shit happened, cool, go to jail. Do not pass go, go straight to jail. But like, whose fault is it when he comes back out and the shit kicks off again? Because now one of his rivals is back out in the street as well. Wow. I really just thought about that. Like, they're both back out in the street. But how long does it take for old wounds to either heal or run back over with infection? I don't know. And while I'm a fan of the person, a fan of the artist, if he did shit, he should be punished for it. I live here in the city. It's some crazy shit that be happening that if you're demanding people do some crazy shit, I don't want to be part of. I don't want to have no clue over what the fuck y'all got going on. One of his children's mothers was shot in the head outside of a bowling alley. Shit like that shouldn't happen. But also, when that happens and he goes to get retribution, what? Everyone's at risk because you could just be somewhere and around something that happens and it can affect you in one way or another. It's weird, huh? It's weird. I just feel like we're at a weird place where, like, judges can do anything they want to. They can make any, like, decisions they want to because they know that it's going to affect you more than it's going to affect them. And that's really just turned us into a point where crazy shit can happen at all time. You know, unfortunately, that has affected the case. Just in, and this was today. This was earlier today. YSL case against Young Thug and his alleged associates has been put on hold until another judge rules on whether Judge Glanville should have to recuse himself from the case. And they still have not gotten a copy of the transcript from the private meeting on June 10th. You know, it's hella people saying, free Thug. What if he did that shit? He gotta go, bro. That's just what it is. Yeah, I'm glad the judge, he did. So he end up recusing himself? We need a way to hold judges accountable. I'm thinking of a word that starts with G and ends with team. Yeah. We need to strike more fear in our leaders because they're leading us down a dark path, man. And what I mean by that is this. This whole last little bit of the Supreme Court and their rulings. Like, they make their rulings for summer and then they get the fuck out of Dodge. And they don't have to deal with it. They don't have to deal with any of the consequences of their actions at all. You know, a couple years ago, I had like a real deep conversation with my mom just about her own life and health just based off of something that they did, you know? And it's like, damn, bro. That makes me even more of a proponent of women's rights, you know? But now we get into a case where the Supreme Court seems to be, like, we're headed towards some Atlas Shrugged type situation, dog. I don't know if y'all ever read that book. It's a hard read, but it's looking like motherfuckers is just saying, hey, y'all don't matter. Supreme Court makes it harder to charge Capitol riot defendants with obstruction. Charge Trump faces. On Friday, they limited a federal obstruction law that has been used to charge hundreds of Capitol riot defendants as well as former President Donald Trump. The justice ruled 363 that the charge of obstructing an official proceeding enacted in 2002 in response to the financial scandal that brought down Enron must include proof that the defendants tried to tamper with or destroy documents. Hey, forgive me if I'm wrong, but wasn't the whole thing about the January 6th was that's when they were trying to validate the votes or the ballots being cast by the Electoral College to name Biden the president? So wouldn't that mean they tried to tamper with, I don't know, documents, but proceedings? Yes. No? Only some of the people who violently attacked the Capitol on January 6th fall into that category. The overwhelming majority of approximately 1,000 people who have been convicted of or pled guilty to Capitol riot-related federal crimes were not charged with obstruction and will not be affected by the outcome. Okay, that's good. Still, the decision is likely to be used as fodder for claims by that guy and his Republican allies that the Justice Department has treated the Capitol riot defendants unfairly. It's unclear how the court's decision will affect the case against that guy in Washington, which includes charges other than obstruction. Special counsel Jack Smith said the charges faced by the former president would not be affected. Dog, they were going through people's desks. We saw it on camera. Me, Nemo, and Esquire sat there damn near the whole day watching everything play out, bro. It's weird to like remember we were watching and niggas every day is trying to tell us we didn't see what we saw. Who does this benefit? And why are y'all benefiting them? That's a question that people should ask themselves. But it's like, at this point, the Supreme Court justices can be so firmly in someone's pocket and it not matter. It doesn't matter to them. Hold on. Because this shit happens. Nope, not that one. Nope, not that one. Damn, I didn't even find the one about the goddamn... Hold on, nah. I'm misspelling shit. I can feel it. Where are these results from? What the fuck is this website? The Supreme Court also legalized bribery. Gutted a key federal bribery statute last week, handing down a ruling that allows powerful interests to give gifts to politicians as rewards for favors. The court's conservative supermajority, I guess is what you call it, ruled 6-3 in Snyder versus United States, overturning the 2019 corruption conviction of an Indiana mayor who pocketed $13,000 from a local business tycoon after ensuring the company got a major town contract. The justices ruled that such bribes were not against the law. As Jacobin reported in March, powerful business groups and conservative think tanks helped engineer the new ruling. How is that possible? How is that possible? Because I thought it was 9 motherfuckers that sat and made decisions, not powerful business groups and conservative think tanks. Because that make me think that conservative think tanks and powerful business groups have a benefit in this ruling. You know, it's also crazy that motherfuckers that was actually taking trips and shit from powerful business groups and special interests can be the type to say, nah, there ain't nothing wrong with that. We can do that. Y'all just mad that y'all can't do that. We can do that, though. The decision makes it harder to go after public corruption, and that's been the trend of the court for quite some time now. Over the last 2 decades, federal corruption prosecutions have declined precipitously. Including under 18 U.S. Code 666. That's crazy that that's what that is. The statute was used to charge James Snyder, the Indiana mayor, at the center of the case. The average number of cases under that statute has halved in recent years, we found this spring. The bribery law in the case is a major federal anti-corruption statute, an important tool for white-collar crime prosecutors trying to hold politicians and powerful actors accountable. It's the strongest law for prosecutors trying to go after corruption in cases like Snyder's. It's undisputed that the law criminalizes quid pro quo bribery, giving cash to a politician, for instance, in exchange for an agreed-upon favor. But the question that the Supreme Court justices were deliberating is on whether this statute also covers gratuities, rewards that are given after the fact to a politician as a thank you for a corrupt action. Huh? Huh? That don't make no fucking sense. Just because I give you the gift later, that make it legal? Dog, this is nuts. This is absolutely nuts. And what's crazy is, shout out to Esquire. That's the lawyer homie we got in the group. Just seeing her and her other counterparts be like, bruh, this is everything that we were taught in schools. Like, we were taught these big cases in schools because they were the law and they were things that we needed to know that, hey, there are checks and balances in place. And all these things are being overturned. Let's go back. Now we got this Chevron, 1984 Chevron precedent, curbing the power of the federal government. Again, who does this benefit? What up, Q? What's going on, G? We just in here talking news. The Supreme Court significantly weakened the power of federal agencies to approve regulations. Regulations keep us safe, dog. Hold on. Boeing got doors flying off of fucking airplanes, and y'all said regulations are bad? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I just like to, like, number one, this is a good exercise of me, like, keeping up with what's going on. And number two, if we can have like a conversation about it so other people either learn or can, deepen their understanding of what's going on, it's a win-win-win for me. But like, it's so much wild shit going on that sometimes we don't see it all happening. So it's literally just a touching base about some of the crazy shit that's going on in this world. And I feel like the last week, this is the third out of the fourth Supreme Court cases we talking about just because niggas want to make a splash. Some of those regulations are international standards that are agreed upon. And that's the thing about it. Like, who says that... No. Who does this benefit, bro? Let's just go back to that question. Who does it benefit for us not to have regulations on shit? It's a major decision that can have sweeping implications for the environment, public health, and the workplace. 6-3 ruling, again, a supermajority, right? Overturning a precedent from 1984. So this has been in place for longer than I've been alive. Will shift the balance of power between the executive and judicial branches and hands an important victory to conservatives who have sought for years to rein in the regulatory authority of the administrative state. Lawsuits were filed by two groups of herring fishermen. Shout out to Esquire. Shout out to Esquire. I ain't gonna ask you for your opinion yet, but I definitely want to hear it after we talk about these next two stories, though, real quick. The lawsuits were filed by two groups of herring fishermen challenging a Commerce Department regulation requiring them to pay the salaries of government observers who board their vessels to monitor the catch. But the decision will net a far wider swath of federal regulations affecting many facets of American life. The decision overturns the Chevron versus Natural Resources Defense Council precedent that required courts to give deference to federal agencies when creating regulations based on an ambiguous law. Congress routinely enacts open-ended laws that give latitude to agencies to work out and adjust the details of new circumstances. Chevron is overruled, Chief Justice John Roberts wrote in his majority opinion. Courts must exercise their independent judgment in deciding whether an agency has acted within its statutory authority. Okay, no biggie. Just every court everywhere feeling like, oh, that's fireworks. Okay. I forget 4th of July is this week. There's a lot of things popping off right now, so. The 1984 decision, he said, undermines core rule of law values ranging from the promise of fair notice to the promise of a fair hearing, adding that it operated to undermine rather than advance reliance interests, often to the detriment of ordinary Americans. That is a fucking lie, dog. What? I can't imagine Boeing being like, yo, we didn't need to have that door fastened. Yeah, the door came off during flight. So what? And then motherfuckers in Minnetonka, Minnesota being like, you know what? I just got a car for free. So, hell yeah, I agree with that. Yep. Citizens United, companies are people. So they have their own rights. The Supreme Court had been trending in that direction for years, knocking back attempts by federal agencies in other contexts to approve regulations on their own. In 2021, for instance, the court's conservatives struck down a Biden administration effort to extend an eviction moratorium first approved during the Trump administration. Last year, the court's conservatives similarly invalidated a Biden plan to wipe out student loans of millions of Americans. They did overrule all of those, saying that was outside the reach of those agencies. So I can imagine how much more is now going to be found to be outside the reach of these federal agencies. I can imagine a lot. Oh, hey, Nicole, no one will detonate me if I incorporate myself as well. They better not. You probably have more rights as a person, as a company, than a person as a person. And finally, the news that everybody got today, which was wild. Trump has absolute immunity for core constitutional powers. I like how they put it here because it makes it not seem so broad. The U.S. Supreme Court has found that Donald Trump enjoys complete immunity for his coup attempt related presidential actions that were official, quote unquote, in nature, but not for those that were, quote unquote, unofficial, in a ruling that effectively makes a trial on his January 6, 2021 charges impossible before the November election. Again, 6-3 decision. 6-3 decision. That's going to be very important for what we talk about after. Split down ideological lines sends the question of deciding what is official and therefore immune from prosecution back to the lower courts, meaning that a mini trial featuring former high-level aides testifying against him is likely in the coming months. But because he appears to be able to appeal adverse rulings from those hearings, he could be the 4-count indictment. He could tie the 4-count indictment up in court well into next year or beyond. Write that better. I stumbled over that. Should he win back the White House, he'd be able to order the Department of Justice to dismiss that case and an unrelated federal case against him. First, with respect to any criminal conduct relating to a president's core constitutional powers, those subjects within his conclusive and preclusive constitutional authority, the president is entitled to absolute immunity from criminal prosecution. Hey, can I take y'all away from Trump for a second? Because this is actually a lot bigger than him. This also means there's no way Obama goes to jail for killing people with drones. That W goes to jail for anything he had to do with the war, quote unquote, on terror. Or anything any president has ever done in an official capacity. That's what that means. And we're not kind of talking about that. We're kind of tying it to this, and it's important to. I feel like it is important to. But like keeping it jiggy for them to say, okay, official versus unofficial. I don't think that speech after you lost was an official act of a president. I think it was an unofficial thing, to be honest with you. So I really don't think that this is going to have the effect on him like we think it is, because I just don't see that as an official capacity as a president. You saying we got to go win back the country from motherfuckers who barely got a job and beat their wives that drove up to D.C. for that weekend, caused some havoc, which you knew was going to happen. Like, I feel like that was very much an unofficial thing, and you still going to prison for that shit. But all of the war crimes that be happening across the entire duration of this country, we are now letting all them people off the hook. So Barry L is not going to prison for them drone strikes, because that was an official capacity. That's very much what that means to me. Let me know if I'm interpreting this in any kind of way wrong. But I feel like that's a bigger thing than just, oh, Trump, the case gonna go past the election. So also what this meant is that this sent this entire case back down to a U.S. District Court judge to determine which actions alleged in the indictment constitute official actions for which he has immunity to make sure prosecutors cannot use evidence obtained regarding that conduct. The lower court is ordered to review, among other things, whether a prosecution involving Trump's alleged attempts to influence the vice president's oversight of the certification proceeding on January 6th will pose any dangers of intrusion on the authority and functions of. Yes, it would. What the fuck? Huh? I'm a civilian and I know that. What are we talking about? Niggas just be dim, dog. They really be trying to get you on some dumb shit. Like, if you're too busy, you'll let this fly by, and you'll only listen to like the big talking heads about what it means. But you really need to like delve down a little bit deeper to feel like, what are the other implications that they're not talking about? Because they keep saying a president, not specifically him, but a president. And I don't know, I'm really into history. And it's always history that is telling the score of what happened after X person did this shit to these people. And it's a lot of shit that we know about, like shit that happens, big things that happen, we won't know the implications that happen afterward. We still finding hella shit about what people did during Vietnam, bro. The Korean War. We still gonna be discovering shit that happened during, wars in Iraq and Afghanistan for the next 20, 50 years. But a lot of that information is available, widely available. They just don't talk about it on the nightly news, so most people don't know what the fuck happened after that. What happened to the people after you drop white phosphorus bombs for the next 50 years? What happened to the birth rate? What happened to the birth defect rate? What happened to the availability of those weapons to be used around the world? Those are real good questions that don't really get asked. It's wild. And so, I'm off cam. Sorry, y'all. Because my back hurts and shit. So I'm kind of just chilling on the ground. But like, we saw that dumpster fire of a debate last week, man. Dumpster fire. One nigga was blatantly lying and the other one was falling asleep. And it's like, I chose not to watch it. Well, shout out to you. I watched that shit just because, number one, it was really interesting to me that there was a debate here in the city I live in, and I didn't know about it until 2 days before the debate. I mean, yeah, I don't listen to the radio, and I don't watch TV, but I kind of feel like somebody somewhere should have been like, yo, it's a debate happening in the city. Make sure you watch it on TV or something. One nigga was literally dodging questions, and the people let him. The moderators, quote unquote moderators, let him. And apparently Biden had a cold. I mean, I guess the motherfucker's like 82. It's weird, dog. It's weird. And I get the calls for wanting Biden to step down, but like, nobody's gonna vote for somebody they don't know in the next fucking 4 months. That's just not gonna happen. In an ideal world, we would have people set up to get ready to go. Somebody would have challenged him, to be honest with you. Somebody would have challenged him in a primary, and that would have been allowed. Because apparently, also the political parties themselves have a lot of sway in like what the people actually say they want and need. Nigga said, nah, y'all can't have nobody else on this ballot, because we got our guy. Yeah, that's for y'all, but the youthful people, people of color, people who don't want like other countries bombed on our behalf, we got wants too. Like, what the fuck? And they said, nah, we got our guy. We got an incumbent. We're just gonna roll with him. Here's what people know. Yada yada yada. And so I guess the best thing that people can hope for is that Kamala will make a good president. I have my doubts. I don't know, but I just wish that we got more of a say in shit. Because a lot of this shit seems predetermined. And I cannot tell people who are disenfranchised with the entire system, oh, you gotta do this, that, and the other. I understand how you're feeling. But when we go back up and read these stories, and it's a 6-3 decision, you should know that Donald Trump put 3 of these motherfuckers on the Supreme Court. So without those 3 people, they'd be deadlocked at the least. I mean, we're going to have 9 no matter what. But a lot of this goes back to shit that people kind of skimmed over. Like, people blocking Obama from nominating a Supreme Court justice. That had never happened before. Oh, you about to get out of here. You can't nominate nobody. Since when? I would have fought tooth and nail over that shit. He was like, I guess. Then you had Ruth Bader Ginsburg. I get it. Everybody loves her. Yada, yada, yada. But dawg, she should have retired, bro. During Obama. That's 2. That's 2 right there. And so, when we're looking at it, and these bumbling fucks are on stage talking about their golf handicaps and shit like that, just know we're voting for at least 2-3 spots on the Supreme Court. So, if that makes it better for you, cool. If it doesn't, it doesn't, I guess. But that's what's at stake. 2-3 people in a 6-3 decision. That's the difference. Kamala spent the last 4 years drugged up, something. I don't know. She's been quieter than any other vice president I've ever seen in my life. I don't know. I grew up where Al Gore was a major figure out here. You know, what was the nigga that was the vice president for the first Bush? What's that nigga name? Dan somebody or other? Dan Quaid. Was it Quaid? I don't know. That nigga had a plaque in the Ryans in my hometown. HW's vice president. Dan Quayle. There was a plaque in the Ryans in my hometown about Dan Quayle. I don't remember the context, but he was going to Ryans in Augusta, Georgia. Apparently, she's the quietest VP ever, dog. I don't know if Kamala's a good choice, but better than Biden. I don't know. Y'all put Kamala in that bitch. We gonna be a police state like a motherfucker. I'll tell you that right now. I'm tired of the lesser of 2 evils, for sure. Very true. And the only way we get rid of that dichotomy, honestly, we should have 5-6 political parties. It should be hella political parties, and it should be a system set up more like what they do in Europe. You're voting for the party, then that party elects a person, and then those people get places in power in the government. It is not just a one versus the other. It's a lot of different ideas, a lot of different parties, and niggas actually have to compromise to get shit done. Whereas here, we have a binary decision, and so when someone's in power, whoever's not in power can say, look at them, they ain't doing shit. And then when they swaps and the other people get in power and they don't do shit, the other people can say, look, they ain't doing shit. Just to have that dichotomy back and forth. And it really shouldn't be that way. But people get rich off of the current system. 6-3 is going to the headlines for the generation. Yeah, Nicole, that's the real thing. His famous thing was misspelling potato. I kind of remember that, but I was a kid. Yeah, when it comes down to RBG, that's kind of how I feel about it. At the end, her ego, she bought into her ego a little bit more. I don't like to speak ill of the dead at all, but like, let's keep it real, dog. You enjoyed being the celebrity you were, this fucking quote unquote liberal icon, and your hubris allowed your death to get you replaced with Amy Cohen Barrett. Is that the lady name? Fucking Brett Kavanaugh. Brett Kavanaugh should not be a Supreme Court justice, dog. It was way too much going on where niggas was like, but did he do it, though? I don't know. The fact that we're talking about it means he shouldn't be. But then if you do that, we got to take it further in time, and a nigga making unwanted advances and putting pubes on Coke bottles shouldn't be a justice neither. And I'll put this on everything. Clarence Thomas You a bitch ass nigga, and the day you die, I'm gonna pop a bottle, boy. I cannot wait. Everybody from Savannah hate your punk ass. Everybody from around that way hate your bitch ass. Your own family don't fuck with you at all. You're literally Uncle Ruckus. You're literally a coon. You're literally the worst black that ever existed. Literally. And you take pride in that. You take pride in being their boy. I bet you wouldn't even make it on the spaceship when they go take the motherfuckers to space. Bitch ass nigga. I can't wait. I can't wait. And it's gonna happen. And fuck you and your wife. That's all I gotta say about that. So. He ain't my uncle. I'll never call him uncle anything. Bitch ass nigga Clarence Thomas. Boy, they used to call you. That's what the fuck I'm gonna call you now. Boy. Boy Thomas. Hoe ass nigga. Fuck ass bitch. You're a disgrace. You're a disgrace. I wish you was not born in the state of Georgia. I wish we didn't have that in common. You one of Strom Thurmond's boys. You should have been up there in South Carolina where he from. Fuck boy. Nah. That nigga nowhere near related to the human race. Fuck that bitch. He probably one of them goddamn, what they call them, reptilians. So Esquire, since you here now, I did want to ask you before we go ahead and wrap up the stream. You have a lot more context for some of the laws that were basically overturned this past week. I'm talking about Chevron and the bribery shit. Like, me as a regular person, I can imagine the implications of having those overruled or overturned. But you being a student of the law, you ain't got to give us nothing deep or nothing like that. What are your thoughts on it? I've seen a little bit of it on Twitter, but I would like to give you a little bit of a space to share your thoughts on it as a person who is familiar with law. If you want to. If not, it's completely fine. But I just was curious for curiosity's sake. But while we wait for your answer, fuck you, Clarence Thomas, bitch ass nigga, hoe ass nigga. Nigga said, I'm gonna use affirmative action in every way, and when people tell me I'm only here before affirmative action, it makes me hate affirmative action. Why did it make you hate them? Bitch ass nigga. I'm sorry. Fuck that nigga, for real. I hope you burn in hell. It's wild, bro. It's wild. In the meantime, in between time, hold on. In a comp match, so I can't. Oh, okay, she playing competitive, y'all. Let's leave her alone. Let's leave her alone. Let's let her focus. But it's very weird to see the biggest doctrines we learned in school to be taken away in an instant. And so let that be that. Let that be that. They learned about this in school, y'all. It's that prominent. And they said, hold on, y'all ain't hear that. I'm snapping. One of those was good. I don't know. That's done. That shit weird, bro. That shit weird. So with that being said, before we wrap up tonight, is there anything that happened in the month of June that I did not touch on that y'all wanted to discuss real quick before we wrap things up? With Chevron in particular, it's really jarring because I was an administrative law attorney in a federal agency a few years ago. So essentially, they took away the ability to do my job at that time. That's crazy. That's crazy, bro. And it's so weird because these people be like, yeah, we don't want big government. We just want to tell people who, like, they got to have babies when they have sex. We just want to tell women they can't get abortions with their bodies. We just want to tell people you can't be gay and get married. But we don't want no regulations. It's weird, dog. It's weird. So I know we coming out of an ad break in the next 45 seconds. Tulsa survivors denied reparations and France went right wing. I was definitely gonna talk about the Tulsa survivors basically being denied their claims by the Oklahoma Supreme Court. They do not want them people gaining anything for being black and being massacred. Surviving a massacre gets you nothing in this country if you're not the right people. Jay-Z a piece of shit, but that's not really news. Oh, because of that, them funds being diverted to private schools now instead of public schools. I just don't think that rich people understand really what the issues are in this country, and I think that we need to stop expecting shit from them. France going right wing. I saw somewhere today that when you have a centrist in government, that's the first step to going right wing. You know, we had Obama here, and Obama was pretty centrist. He wanted to make sure that he appeased everybody. He got his shit off where he could, but he wanted to appease everybody for the most part. And partly because he was liberal, but definitely because he was black, them niggas came back and said, hey, we going in the opposite direction for real. We want a fucking racist in the White House now. And that's why, right after he got elected, I read an article about Trump being the first nigger president. And it made so much sense in the context of, like, he is the most ignorant motherfucker that you could ever put in here. And if you, like, were to think about the definition of what that is, it could only be him. Like, if that word wasn't married to race, it could only mean him. He's the worst. He literally was the worst. But I don't know, man. He wrote people a $1,600 check, and they went crazy. And that's all they ever want from him now. And I'm not here to tell nobody what to do or what to think, nothing, man. But y'all really gotta start thinking about, like, deeply about who we are fucking championing. I was even saying that shit during that Dr. Disrespect shit. Who are we really platforming and putting on? The fuck is a Nick Merckx? Nigga, they ain't got no neck. Why would listen to a motherfucker with no neck? Walking around his driveway talking about, honey, I'm tanning. Nigga, you're walking around the driveway. Shut the fuck up. But yeah. So with that, I mean, that's what we got, y'all. June 2024. That's what it is. Hey man, really appreciate y'all coming through. I feel like by the end of this week, I should be in better straits enough to be on cam, to be able to sit down and kind of be face to face with y'all, and do the work. I'm not gonna rush back until I feel completely comfortable, and when that is, y'all will see me on cam. Streams, I will say, are back. Then, you know, I think we were able to do this tonight pretty successfully. My apologies about last week, but I definitely communicated it out on Twitter. So if you're not following me there, please follow me on Twitter. You know, we also on the YouTube. Kick, I think we're going to give Kick up after Majora's Mask, to be honest with you. I started Majora's Mask on Kick, so I'm going to finish it there. I don't know if we play another game on Kick, just because Kick kind of getting a little bit too ingrained with... If I hear some bad news, it's about some shit on Kick. But also Twitch doing NDAs with niggas that are flirt with little girls, so I don't know. It's a lot of shit going on these days. So I'll be back Wednesday. I believe Wednesday may not be the longest stream because they're trying to move our D&D session to Wednesday night. So you might have me from 7 to 10. We'll see. But still running this campaign with this group, having fun with it. One of my characters died, y'all. I wanted to tell y'all that shit last week. I was so pissed. One of my characters died. I got pissed. Man. But you know, we started the new session. I got a new character in there, so we got some things. Shout out to the DM. He's very inventive. So we were talking through some different story beats and shit like that. But I'm having fun with D&D. I hope y'all are are loving and living right, man. Take care of yourselves also, because I will say my time on the floor, as I'm gonna call it, just had me thinking a lot just about me as a person and the shit that I have done and am doing and the people I have around me. And I appreciate all of y'all, for real. For real. Shall we raid someone? I think we shall. Nemo, thank you for coming through, brother. Thank you for coming through, brother. So we'll be back on that Majora's Mask on Wednesday. I probably will stream on Friday. I don't know exactly what that's gonna look like right now. But I'm about to turn it over to one of my big creator homies. Bubble Brit B. She just started streaming? Yeah, she just started streaming. So they're gonna be doing some reactions tonight. I think probably about some BET stuff, but maybe some more. Maybe about Meg. So we're gonna go see Bubble Brit B. That's one of the homies. Love rating her. She has good energy. So yeah, let's go get that raid popping. Bubble Brit B, just chatting. So we got these raid commands in here. This first one is for anyone who you've just been chilling with us tonight, or you've been in the back making dinner, doesn't matter. Go ahead and copy that one. The second one is for my subscribers who have access to my emotes. I really do appreciate all of y'all, whether you're subscribed or not, man. I just thank y'all for being here. It's the summer. We know how things go in the summer. People are out and about and moving. And on Monday night, who the fuck want to hear about news? But I appreciate y'all kicking it with me tonight. I'll be back Wednesday for Majora's Mask and hang out and chill with y'all. We may play some Majora's Mask on Friday. We may just chill on Friday. It's been a minute since we did a Just Chatting stream on Friday. So, might have to serve that one up. But I owe y'all some Majora's Mask. That's how I look at it. And then we got to get ready. This vlog has to come to y'all at some point in time. When I'm able to sit up and edit video, I'm definitely getting that vlog out to y'all. So look out for that. Matter of fact, if y'all haven't, go ahead and hit that YouTube. Go ahead and hit that Twitter. All that. So copy the raid command that speaks to you. You can change it up a little bit as long as you're respectful. But let's go ahead and get ready to show some love to Bubble Brit B as she chats and reacts to certain things that have happened recently. So let's give her some love. It's Monday. I hope y'all having a fucking amazing week. It's your boy Trippz. We the fuck out here, bro. Let's go.